All right. What is going on, guys? Happy Easter. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone's having a great weekend and enjoying themselves with their fam. Today, I am just going to go over some charts, go over how I see the week setting up for. And then I had gotten a question about, actually, so I'll bring up another stock too, but I got a question about Rivian. And then there's another stock I want to talk about because it's been in the headlines right now. And I think it's a good stock to consider. If you haven't already bought it, you should consider buying. Now I'll give my insight why. And it's Tesla, especially with the SpaceX IPO. Looks like it's going to come out in June. So I'm going to talk over that. But let's go over charts. I'm going to go over Bitcoin real quick. So we got that pullback on Thursday. Friday we were closed for the market. It looks like because volume's so low, it seems to me this could play out a little bit longer over time. We're not going to really get over 69.46. I don't think we'll get over the 200 SMA on the lower time frame. I think with volume so low, I got a bullish momentum when we were this low. I had longs, but it's still over the weekend. What's going to matter is Asia open. It's going to pretty much lead us where we're going to start the week. But it seems like when I look at certain stocks, so I still have a lot of my short plays open. I only trimmed a little bit, not that much on some of my puts. It's mainly like RIVN and Uber, but like Rocket Lab, and it seems like everything's gonna start to come down. Like RIVN, I still see this perfectly, right below support, back test. It could be a fake out right here, but we're just gonna go lower, as an example. Bitcoin, I think we could still possibly open up kind of bullish for Asia Open, so that's tonight, 6 p.m. But really, what's going to affect it is just news catalyst, whatever's going on, with Trump and Iran war. So it seems to me like as the weeks play out, we're just going to get our nuke. It really seems like April, we can't get above this EMA line, and that just shows that there's a lot of weakness. Granted, there could be some bullish catalysts. When I look at liquidation clusters, which is totally separate from this, where we have contracts like up here at 75K and 71K, I would assume market makers would liquidate those guys. But if sellers are in control, even on TA, just the simple looking at the higher time frame, if it's still this bearish, we might just get our dip down and fill down here probably to 55, 52K. The positions I have for crypto, basically, like my shorts, basically I'm going to close everything at 62K for my shorts and just start swapping everything in the longs right here. I'm pretty much going all in like around 60K because we could get a double bottom. There's a lot of ways. What's interesting to me is how this can all play out, because there's a lot of ways this can really play out. And because I do think we're getting our one last leg down. If you look at the higher time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, we got our 4 here, 5 right here. Once we get this leg down, now it can be a double bottom. We're pretty much, I really think once we get this leg down, we're going to spring back up. I think there's enough bullish catalyst on the horizon because look at the fear and greed index. We've had almost 2 months now negative. It's been a while since we've had the fear and greed index like that bearish for so long. And historically, when it's that long, this bearish, we get our spring up. We'll go back above. Now, that doesn't mean we're out of the bear market. It just means that we're going to get a rally, because bear markets still get rallies, and they actually get quite a few. So I think once we get down here, pretty much you want to, if 62K, pretty much I'm closing all my crypto shorts right here once I see Bitcoin 62K. And my shorts are like Solana, BNB, it's like other alts. As an example, I see Solana getting to like 65. I'm going to close my shorts there at 65. It can go way lower. Hypothetical. I still have shorts right there. BNB, I think could go to 450, but I have my shorts closing at like 530, like around here. I'm going to just close them. This has been really, really awesome for me. Just holding these shorts on it has been really fortunate for me. I wish I went deeper here. I didn't think we get this much of a pullback. I thought we could bounce right here, but it's been really very fortunate for me. These last 2 months have been pretty awesome, actually, for my portfolios. So Bitcoin, I do think once we're down here, this is a great buying opportunity. It's probably the best you're gonna get because come summer, we're gonna go back up, and we'll mess around right here. Once we do get our spring up, there's no telling where we're gonna go. To be honest, I do think there's a good chance we can touch the 200 SMA, which is this red line, and as time with time, this will go lower. So the 200 SMA, even though it shows like 90K right here, over the months could be like at 81K, 85K. There's a good chance we could hit that. It's kind of far out, so I think sentiment will be a lot different, especially during the summer. The Iran war will probably play out, I think, for several more months. I honestly think the Iran war will probably go on to like fall. That's what I'm thinking. So it's just a bunch of news catalysts short term. It's a lot of price action choppiness. Eventually something's going to give. Honestly, it looks like it will. When I look at gold, I like to look at PAX-G. But to me, it looks like, wow, this is playing out perfectly. So I do see us going to 4,900. I think we could get that on gold pretty soon. It didn't break super trend. I thought it would. I thought we'd get a fake out. But I do think gold over the months is going to go down here for sure. Looks very nice. Very, very nice. Hype. Yeah, this one's sell off too. All right, so I'm going to talk about a coworker that I used to, well, a former coworker, a fellow electrician, told me he's going to get Rivian stock. And he said Rivian Amazon. So Amazon, I told him, great. I think Amazon is actually a great play. Amazon long term, good stock to hold. Rivian, however, I think is a terrible play. Rivian, no bueno. Reason why is just, if you look at it as a fundamental company, their liquidity runway for the next couple years is bad. Like right now, the only thing that's gotten propped up is that their contract with Amazon, and now they have a contract with Uber, and this is part of the reason why I shorted Uber too. So Uber is going to launch self-autonomous vehicles, and Rivian is going to be the one to supply those vehicles. It's not going to work out. They don't have the liquidity to keep it running. They don't have the software. They're missing out on so many things. On top of that, Rivian is in also like underwater with their contract with Amazon for producing the next lineup of those for their delivery drives. They're what is it? They're not RVs, but they're like, I don't know what those cars are called, but they're little box cars for like dropping off packages. They're supposed to have the upgrades. They're not going to have it, and they keep pushing it back. And then on top of that, their production line of vehicles, every vehicle they make, they burn $35,000 on that vehicle. They don't have manufacturing down to a T. It's the reason why Tesla's so successful is because of that. Strictly that, because making EV vehicles for all car companies is extremely difficult. All of them have nearly given up, or just like they tried the hybrid because they realized going EV was going to be extremely difficult with them already running gasoline cars. Like it's a whole other ballpark of its own. So they're not able to, and they didn't really care to put all their bags into that, that chip, or all their chips in that one bag going EV. The only company that did was Tesla, because they nailed manufacturing and getting efficiency in terms of producing those vehicles, because it's so difficult. That's why they're able to sell their vehicles so cheaper than others and still make profit on their vehicles. Again, I'll say Rivian, I don't think will last at all. So I don't think Rivian's a good play. Right here on the short term, though, it can bounce. This is kind of a bullish on high time frame. This is pretty bullish. So it can form a double bottom here. I can see that happening unless the floor gives, which is this at 1369. If it goes under that, then this is going to $12. And I don't think Rivian's a good play. Just a heads up, just saying that. The other stock I do want to talk about, Tesla. So we have talks now confirming that the SpaceX IPO will be coming in sometime around June. I kind of wanted to. I was just thinking about this. So my first stock was Tesla. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just trying to give you guys an example. Tesla and SpaceX, when that comes out, you are gonna want either one of those because they're both for sure. Tesla is gonna benefit SpaceX, and they're gonna share resources and share things. So Tesla is purely the software and the robotics that will. Those robots are for sure going to be used for SpaceX when they start working on their space innovation, when they do their proposed plans. If Tesla was able to complete their milestones, you better believe that SpaceX will too. And they have huge milestones that they want to accomplish, like going to the moon, building bases on the moon, and eventually going to Mars and expanding our the human uh, expanding, just beyond, I don't know the term, but multiplanetary, basically. So I do believe that if you buy now, you're set. Oh, at least if you put at least 10K, let's just say that. If you buy now over the next couple of decades, your family is probably going to be set. If that's one of the goals that you want to have funds to keep for your family in the future, it's probably SpaceX. And in return, Tesla. There is a very good chance that they probably will merge, and that will make sense for Tesla to get its 5 to 6x, because then the growths that SpaceX would get will also flow into Tesla and vice versa, especially with the robotics. So, and full self-driving. Imagine that being applying to rocket ships and whatnot, spaceships. So, again, the example I was going to say, so during COVID, my first stock that I went all in was Tesla. And my dollar cost average was like around 900, but I bought, basically it was like 10 grand worth. So what happened was, from that time span, they had a 5-to-1 split, was the first one. So that 9 at the time was like, I think it's 10 shares. It was like 10 or 11 shares, and it 5x. So now it was 50 shares. And then they did a 3-to-1 later on over the span to now, which made those 50 shares into 150 shares. And I took profit on some of those shares, but I have like 100 for retirement. That 100 shares, I think it's like, so it's 360. That's like almost 40K. Just an example. So all you got to do is just pretty much put, your investment, at least I say within the next 3 years for Tesla, just put this should be something you should have. And then over a decade, imagine what it could be worth, especially with SpaceX, maybe over 2 decades. Just like that, it quickly changes. So just saying to you guys that if you're looking for investment, this is a very good one. And what else? What I want to say? SpaceX IPO. I have a paper to talk about this stuff. That's pretty much it. All I did right here. So I do think our nuke is still inbound for Bitcoin for April or Mayish. I think it's gonna be April. It seems like everything's ready to drop. This might not play out. We might get up here to 69, but it looks like everything's gonna drop. It really does. So happy Easter, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. Talk to you guys later.